FatDag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, FatDag.
I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello, welcome to episode 132 of WhysAdvice. And once again, the show continues to be brought to you by my friends over at Nokia Health, who've made this fantastic thermometer. It really does a great job. Used it again tonight, to be honest with you. Came home. Megan wasn't feeling well, and so, of course, I ran to get it. And I just scanned it across her forehead, came up at 99 degrees. It gave me a little green light saying that that temperature is in the normal range for her age. It was actually pretty cool. So actually really got a chance to use it tonight besides just testing it. But all is well. Like I said, it gives you a light vibration, tells you when the reading is complete. And the readings tell you with the color-coded LED, which is great for in the dark, that's illuminated by the color, depending on if the temperature is normal or not. So again, you go to health.nokia.com. I'll put a link in the show notes, but between now and October 31st, it is 20% off, so it saves you a couple bucks there. I would encourage you to go grab it. If I'm telling you about it, it means I fully support it and have tested it. So go ahead and give it a shot. Let's go there. Episode 132 is going to be a great show. Thanks to everyone out in the podcast land who's listening via the iHeartRadio, via the Stitcher Radio, whether you find it in iTunes, wherever you find the show. I think the app is the best way. So go ahead to your app store and download the WhysAdvice app. You can scroll through the bottom of the show notes, and if you're so inclined on the bottom there, you can click on the Patreon link, and you can provide the financial support as well to the show. I always appreciate the handful of you out there who are keeping that going, so thank you as well. First up is Kasana. She says, "Hi, my name is Kasana, and my username on Connect is KBQ0308. I'm in my second month of Weight Watchers, and like many, this is my fourth or fifth time joining. But this time will be my last. So far, I am 10 pounds down and loving the program. I found out about your podcast on Connect, and it's been life-changing. I truly thank you for sharing your journey and providing another forum for people to share their experiences. I've been listening to the recent episodes and also going back to hear your older ones. But Julie's letter on episode 108 truly hit home for me. My heart went out to her when hearing about her grief and losing her daughter and grandchildren. It wasn't until she started talking about how grief can be physical that it truly hit home for me. You see, I lost my father unexpectedly to kidney and heart disease in June of 2015. I was 6 months pregnant with my daughter, and despite having siblings, my dad's final arrangements, cleaning out his apartment and estate, fell solely on me. Due to all that I had to do, I didn't really give myself time to grieve. 3 months later, my daughter was born, and I refused to be sad for her, so again, I tucked my grief away. Fast forward a year and a half, my mom, who's an avid traveler, returned from a trip to Peru and did not realize she developed blood clots in her legs due to the long travel and change in altitude. One day she called me that she couldn't breathe, and we called an ambulance immediately. She suffered a pulmonary embolism, 2 heart attacks on the way to the hospital, and 4 in the emergency room. In between each heart attack, she suffered a mini stroke and was placed on life support. By God's grace, she woke up from life support, successfully went through both physical and occupational therapy, and is back to doing everything she did before with only numbness in 2 fingers as a reminder of all that she endured. I am eternally grateful, as she is my best friend. During all this, I didn't realize that my dad's death and my mom getting sick was having an effect on me. I have 2 kids, so like Julie, I had to learn that grief and joy can coexist. It wasn't until my mom was on the mend that I allowed myself to fully grieve my dad's death, now 2 years later. And the weight is now coming off. Since I was not allowing myself to grieve, the grief was manifesting itself physically in my weight. It now feels so good to let it all go, to fully grieve my dad, to find joy in my mom, husband, kids, and the rest of my family, and to finally shed the weight. Thank you for sharing Julie's story, as it truly touched me and gave me clarity on my own situation. I'm grateful to you and for your podcast and look forward to getting to goal with focus. P.S. I often play your podcast in the car with my kids, and when you say, when you're out of points, my 7-year-old yells, "Stop eating points!" All the best, Kasana. Kasana, thank you for writing in, and my heart goes out to you and your entire family. You've endured a lot as well, just like Julie's email. When that email came through, I mean, it's just devastating. Some of the things that we really have to face on a daily basis, and how it absolutely impacts every aspect of our life, to include our weight loss journey. You're down 10 pounds, so you've obviously now figured out a way to start this thing back up, to start taking care of you, and you're finding success in the program. The fact that you've been able to prove with all that you got going on that you can lose 10 pounds is proof that you actually have the capability to get it done. Grief absolutely can be physical. And so the fact that, again, losing your father and all the stuff that happened with your mom, and then at the same time, trying to have a newborn baby and raise a family, man, you absolutely have to take time for you. And it's so difficult when there isn't any time to do that. So, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for all the stuff for your mom. And I'm so glad to hear that she's doing well. And this is one of those topics where you really just have to do your best. And we've talked about more than once on this show that doing your best really means something different every single day. You can't wake up every day and be better than you were the day before. The best you can do is wake up, assess the situation that you're in, and do the best that you can in that exact moment. You've done that. Julie did that. Everyone who continues to go through these life events has to get to the point where everything that's happened to you shakes you up, and then as things begin to rebuild, as you rework on your life, you get to what we now call a new normal. No, it's completely different than the normal you had before, and that shake-up period that's full of grief, that's full of pain, that's full of uncertainty, it clearly exists. It's at that point that you do your best, and then when you start recognizing that you're now starting to get into routines, that is your new normal, and at that the point where you then say, okay, it's time to refocus on me. But for a brief period of time, there were some things that you had to take care of that maybe allowed you to put yourself on the back burner. I would encourage you to take that moment and say, you know what, I did what I had to do to get through this period of time. I'm now through it. We're back on track. We're back in a new normal, and it's now time for me to succeed. When you get to a point where you now are rocking the program like you are, you get to goal, you develop the healthy habits. When these situations arise, you have a much different level of strength to attack them. Your habits now don't continue to rule you. Your bad habits, I should say, don't continue to rule you, but the good habits that you've developed will carry you through the bad times. Continue to take the time for you and do what you need to do. Put yourself as the priority in this journey. Get it done. You will feel a weight come off of your shoulders when you finally stand on the scale and say, I no longer want to lose any more weight. Thanks for writing in, and thanks for commenting on Julie's story. If you guys haven't heard it, episode 108 of WhysAdvice is Julie's incredible story of strength and triumph and tragedy, and how she overcame it all and continued to persevere, which is just proof that you can do it. So Kasana, thanks again for writing in. Continue to play the podcast in the car. And here's one for the team right here. When you're out of points, stop eating points. Suzanne writes in and says, FatDag, I've been a lifelong Weight Watcher member, but never lifetime. I've joined so many times that I've lost count. I would start the program and then drift off, finally quit before making any real progress or change. I'm so happy to tell you that this time is different for me. I focused on my why, and I realized that I had only one thing on my bucket list: to be normal weight. That's it. There were no trips to the Maldives or skydiving on my bucket list. I only wanted to be a normal weight. I honestly thought that the only way I could achieve this before I died was if I got a terrible illness that made me thin before it killed me. To say I felt hopeless about my weight is an extreme understatement. Everything changed when I started following you and learning how to focus and change my thinking. Today, I finally reached my 10%, down 25 pounds, and finally in Wonderland. This is the first time that I've lost 10%. I heard your voice in my head telling me that if I can reach 10%, I can go the whole way. Well, guess what? I've lost my 10% and I'm going all the way. Even better, I hear my voice telling me that I believe in me. I have to honestly say that the big difference this time is you. I listen to your podcast or watch you on Facebook Live every day because of you and the message you deliver. It's because I no longer want to feel shame and hopelessness. I can see that success is possible and truly achievable. The best part is that I'm enjoying the journey. I used to think that I would be happy only when I reach goal. I now realize that I am happy just following the program, eating healthy, being active, and best of all, being in control. Happiness is not off into the distant future. I am happy now. So Mike, thank you for teaching me how to make my dream come true and for being my wingman. You've changed my life and I am truly grateful. Suzanne. Suzanne, you're very welcome. It's a complete honor to walk this journey with you. And when I get an email like the one that you just wrote in, it just continues to validate for me that what we're doing is truly hard work and truly worth all the effort that we put in. Getting to goal, getting to lifetime, reaching back and looking for other people and saying, you know what, you can do this too. It's absolutely enjoyable. It's absolutely doable. You have to love yourself along the way. And I see that you've found a way to find happiness now. And when you find happiness in the middle of your journey, that happiness is what carries you to the rest of your journey. Now, clearly, you got to stay focused on your why. That's obviously the number one rule in all this. But as you're focused on your why and you can adapt a positive, healthy, happy mindset, then everything you see becomes a solution. You become powerful. You get the willpower to want to succeed because the happiness that you feel, you don't ever want it to go away. So I encourage you, if you're listening and you're not in that happy place yet, I would encourage you to get to a point where you now see the positive of everything. Continue to root out and push away the negative thoughts, the negative feelings. And then as you focus on the happiness, you start reaching levels of success that maybe you never had before. As Suzanne says, she's been a lifelong Weight Watcher member, but never had hit lifetime. Well, that's until now. She's never hit it yet. But Suzanne, you're going to get there. You just hit your 10%. You got what I call the trifecta, 10%, 25 pounds, and back into Wonderland. those three things all independently are amazing success. You've hit them all. That's extremely powerful. And even better, you are hearing your own voice in your head saying that you believe in you. I believed in you from day one. Ever since I got to goal, I believe that getting to goal is possible for every single person out there. It doesn't matter what you've got going on. It doesn't matter what struggles you're facing. The ability to get there exists regardless. When you believe it and you become happy with it and you become, focused on all the good that you've got going on, then you're just like you said, your voice tells you that you can make it. And most importantly, you are in control of your journey. The beautiful thing about following the program, just as you said, is that brings happiness. As you follow the program and you stick to that, then you understand the framework that you're working in. That framework gives you the control to make whatever choices you want to make. Keep working the program. Keep tracking, keep following the plan as it was designed, and that 10% that you reach will turn into 100% of your goal. Suzanne, thanks for your email. Congratulations on your amazing success so far. Can't wait to hear how it ends. Out of Louisiana, Ellen writes in, says, "Hi, FatDag. Your podcasts are so encouraging and inspiring. Thank you so much for mentoring those of us who are still striving to reach the moment when we can say, I have lost enough. I dream of the day that I reach goal. My husband and I joined Weight Watchers in June as a gift to ourselves for our 50th birthdays. We have lost 32 and 34 pounds respectively, and we hope to get our 10% charms on Thursday. We have joined a gym. My husband can only do limited cardio because of the medical problems. I, however, do not have any limitations. How often do you feel that we need to be going to the gym? What types of workouts do you recommend? Will we gain weight from strength training? Thanks for your advice, Ellen out of Louisiana." Ellen, thank you for your email. Again, as you know, it's an honor for me to do the podcast. I'm glad you find them encouraging and inspiring. What I find inspiring is that everyone who's working this journey takes the time to write in because they're focused on them, sharing it. That's what makes this show. I don't have a show if there's nothing to talk about, and your emails that you guys send in is what makes the show. So that is what's inspiring, is that there's enough people out there who believe that they can do it, and they're using every tool out there possible to get it done. So it's an honor to be able to do that and walk with you. You dream of the day that you reach goal. And you dream of the day when you can say that you have lost enough. You no longer want to lose weight. It's more than just a dream. It's reality. You can get there. And so you said you're working on your 10% charm. I would encourage you to strike the word hope from your record. Don't hope to get there. Follow the plan and you will get there. It's pretty cool to see that you husband and you both joined for your 50th birthday present. You're clearly both very well focused, 32 and 34 pounds respectively. That's amazing work. Doesn't happen by accident. And now, because a result of that weight loss, you have joined a gym. That's kind of how this process works, is that as the first thing we do is we get defeated and we say, it's time for me to join. And we walk in the center and we say, it's time for me to join, whether it be online or whether we walk into a meeting room. That's the first step. We get there and we start having some success. We find some tools. And then, we believe once we get down 30, 40 pounds, the body starts craving a little more movement and exercise. So that encouraged you to join the gym. And so now you're at a point where the two of you have different abilities to do some exercise. And when you ask, how often do I feel you need to go to the gym? I feel like you need to go often. But I don't believe you need to go to the gym to do that. I believe you can get some physical activity without actually having to go to a gym. There are some benefits to the gym, sure. But things I've always focused on is setting an attendance goal for your progress. Whatever it is you do, whether it be walking, whether it be swimming, whether it be riding a bike, golf, anything that you do that adds activity to your day is exercise. It doesn't have to be in a physical gym. So there will be activities that the two of you can do together. And at some point, your body may crave something a little more strenuous that you would add. But if you focus on the attendance side of this, if you focus on saying every single day I'm going to do this, and you do as little as possible so that you can maintain that perfect attendance award from the activity side, that's where you get the most benefit. You get the most benefit not from going to the gym one day and working your tail off and burning 600 calories and then taking a month off. You get the most benefit by going to the gym so consistently that you believe more than anything that the gym is just part of your life and it's just a routine that you do. So as far as what types of workouts do I recommend, there isn't a specific type. You have to find something that you enjoy doing that you can sustain. If I sat here and told you that, hey, I believe you need to go swimming, and you absolutely hate swimming, but you understand that you can do some swimming to start getting in shape, well, you may be able to swim for a month or two. You may be able to attend a swim class for a couple months. But at some point, you're either going to love it and continue doing it, or you're going to resent it so much that you give it up altogether. It doesn't have to be exercise in the true form of what we believe to be exercise. You simply got to move more. You got to do something that you enjoy doing, that's physical activity, that gets your heart racing, that gets your body moving and keeps you active. As far as your last question, strength training, and will you gain weight from it? Well, sure. If you add muscle to your body, a pound of muscle weighs the exact same as a pound of fat, but a pound of muscle takes up less space than fat. So as you convert your body with strength training, you will lose inches off of your body, and the scale could creep up as you add muscle. It's why I say don't focus on the scale. If all of a sudden you're now in a smaller shirt and the scale is the same or even up, a touch, but your clothes are fitting, a lot better, you're doing a lot more physical activity. Well, isn't that the true definition of success? Isn't that what you're after? You're not chasing a number on the scale. You're chasing a look and a feel. And you're chasing a lifestyle that you can sustain long term. And you get that by being active, by adding some sort of strength training in, by focusing on the food that you're eating. The food piece is the most important. When you get that under control, you completely change your life. That's the pieces of the entire puzzle, all three right there. So, Ellen, keep up the great work. Set that attendance goal. Get to, do some sort of physical activity every single day so you can feel like that in your lifestyle, you're a healthy, fit, active couple well into your 50s, having a great life and in many, many more to come. So thank you for your email. Anna writes in, says, Dear Mike, you don't know me, but I feel like we're friends already. For the past month, you've been running with me almost every day, and you've been commuting back and forth to work with me as well. I bet you didn't know you were so well-traveled. My Connect username is AMERA22. I'm down 30 pounds. I'm 10 pounds below the top of my healthy BMI range. I am rocking my attendance goal for exercise. I am tracking every day, every bite, lick, and taste. I am only on my 4th week of maintenance, yet I'm struggling. My husband and I are in our early 30s. We are both young professionals, and we have a 5-year-old daughter and a 16-month-old son. I am originally from South America. I met my husband when we were both 21, and we fell unapologetically in love. Our love has a strength of its own, and I truly believe we are destined to be together. That is not to say we don't quarrel just like any other normal human couple, but we are each other's rock. After a few years of traveling back and forth, we got married and I moved to the United States permanently. That meant leaving my very big Italian family behind. Even though it has been almost 10 years since the big move and we travel back home often, it is still very hard to raise my family far away from my support system, my mother, my brother, my friends, etc. Yet, my husband's family, albeit small, was always close by until 6 weeks ago. My father-in-law passed away unexpectedly at the age of 56 over Labor Day weekend. Then last week, we got a phone call that his grandmother had passed away. And like that, in the span of 6 weeks, his only remaining family is gone. This has been so hard emotionally and financially. We are trying so hard to remain upbeat and with our heads above water, but I feel all alone. Yes, we have good friends and a support network, but he, the children, and I are the only family we have in this country. And as much as I would like to lean on him for my emotional upset, I need to remain strong so that he knows he can lean on me. And then the fears come. What if this happens to him as well? What if I lose him? The thought paralyzes and terrifies me. So here I am. I do go to a therapist, and I have recently discovered acupuncture. Both are great for stress relief, and I keep tracking. But I can tell that I'm overeating. I'm still within my weeklies and my fit points. I am overeating on my healthy foods. I am still making good choices, but this old behavior creeping back in that is scaring me. Hunger is not the problem. I know food is not the solution. I also know I need to be gentle with myself. I am trying so hard to remain focused because gaining weight will only make matters worse, and it won't give me the sense of safety and security that I'm craving right now. But in order to regroup and refocus, I need to reach out to someone who understands. Thanks for reading, Anna. Anna, I understand. And so, I haven't experienced all of what you've gone through, but I think as we go through life, there are periods of time when we just feel like everything is just coming crashing down, and we feel like it's all falling apart before our eyes, and it's that focus, and we start focusing so much on it because all of it comes to us so quickly that we can't really focus on anything else. Everything I read in your email showed me how successful that you are. In everything that you've done, I just kept reading a paragraph after paragraph, and in my head, all I could hear was the success. I didn't hear the struggle that you talked about. I get that it's there. I get that that it exists, but my focus for you is all the amazing things you've done. You fell in love at 21 years old, unapologetically, and you found your soulmate. That's an amazing story. You've moved to a beautiful country. You set up a life. You have 2 beautiful children. That's something that you absolutely should be proud of, which I know you are. You've focused on taking care of yourself. You've changed your lifestyle to adapt into healthy eating, and that's gotten you down 30 pounds. Clearly, that's working for you. Very successful young professionals, you're doing amazing work. As you focus on all of the amazing things that are going right in your life, and then a couple things come through tragically, very tragically, which seem to completely upset the apple cart, and that takes the focus away from all that you have going well, and it consumes your thoughts and every thought to you. That ability there to have the thoughts consumed and taken over is where you define as the struggle. So what I want you to do is understand that you and your husband together are clearly in this together. You're strong for each other. I get that. You do not have to be strong alone. When you try and be strong, alone, what I want you to do is I want you to understand that the strength comes from you truly letting go of all of that protective wall that you built around yourself. That's where the true strength comes in. And you lean on your rock and you let him know exactly what's going on. And together, you continue to work the programs that you're working, and you focus on all the amazing things that we just talked about. It's that regroup and that refocus that then will put everything back into perspective for you. Continue to work with your therapist. I'm sure that I can tell through your writing that clearly is working for you. That and the acupuncture, taking care of your stress relief, all of that is playing into your success. So amidst all the chaos, and I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry to hear of all the tragedy that you've suffered. But my first thing I read in your email was the amazing success that you're having. And I know that as you just continue to refocus and you focus on all that is going right, you will continue to then start seeing the rest of everything that is going right. That's the piece you can get to. And so now what I want you to do is you, at the very last paragraph, you said you're making good choices, and it's the old behaviors creeping back in that's scaring you, and you recognize that hunger is not the problem, so therefore food is not the solution. And so a lot of us, we have habitual eating habits or eating issues, I guess, right? So what happens is our habits are driving us to take the food. So replace your habit with a new activity, with a new action. Instead of reaching for that food, reach for something, reach for your phone, reach for your husband, reach for your kids, and do something fun in that moment and completely make the 180-degree shift in your lifestyle to get it done. It's an honor to walk this journey with you. You are not alone. I can assure you of that. I can assure you right now, someone else is listening and someone else is going exactly through what you're going through. And that as they post on Connect and you share your stories, that's the beautiful thing about this community, is that we realize that none of us are alone. You're only alone if you want to be alone. You're only alone if you don't reach out for help and you don't reach out and say, you know what, I could use some support in this scenario. And just as you did, you'll find that the Connect community rallies behind us all and we find strength to get whatever goals we want to get done. You've lost 30 pounds amidst all the stuff you got going on. You're rocking your maintenance mode. That's an amazing accomplishment that very few people are able to get to. Those with the strong mind and the strong focus can get there, rechannel that energy, focus on everything that's going right, and let's get you to goal. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can email in at onair@fatdag.com. If you email in, it just jumps it right into the queue and I'm able to read them quickly. And I want you to email in because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. The first step in being proud is letting someone else know that what you're doing is amazing work. Keep up that amazing work. I wish you the best of focus. I wish you all the amazing success and happiness. It's out there if you want it. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.